Hello, hello, hello. In case you don't know me, my name is Steven. I'm going to do a collective tarot reading today. And so this message is really going to be meant for you whenever you receive it. Also, don't be too distracted if you hear some noise. I am doing some dog sitting. I've got Ella here in the background. She's a corgi. She is kind of being my little spiritual support as we're doing this right now. But hope you're all doing so well. Gosh, I was tuning in to the message that wants to come through, and the biggest things that I was kind of picking up on were third eye chakra energies, and I was just noticing kind of like almost like a kind of a ball in the center of the third eye, and kind of like I was noticing how like almost like the energy within the third eye chakra sometimes affects our own throat, which is what I was kind of picking up on is where are we falling victim to our thoughts? Where are we believing our thoughts and believing them to be true and allowing them to shape our identity center, our throat, which is also how we express, right? Because what we believe about ourselves is what, in essence, gets spoken out into the world. So how can we become more aware of what we're thinking? How can we become more aware of what consciousness we are radiating and vibrating from? Not only that, I was noticing as well, like, I was feeling in the center of like the torso, I was like noticing just like the words like tend to your nervous system came up. So like really, I mean, how can you bring more time and space to just turn toward yourself to see like when your body, when your nervous system is overwhelmed, when you need to take that moment to maybe take a rest, to put your hand on your body, on your chest, to give yourself a gentle massage, and to just remind yourself, ooh, okay, we can soften a little bit. And actually, this is something that I've been uncovering a little bit more, I mean, I think we always have these cycles and these seasons, but I've just been noticing like it's really in those moments when we can kind of get out of this mental framework of needing to do the next thing and can actually give ourselves a moment to pause, that we open up to this really profound possibility of receiving. And this receiving is able to happen so spontaneously from being, we can start receiving downloads, we can start just receiving the room around us and noticing details about it in new ways that we wouldn't have realized if we were in such a hyper-aware state. So the big invitation here is how can we slow down, receive, and really tend to our nervous system? Because also tending to our nervous system is also taking care of both our thoughts and what we're projecting and thinking and saying. So yeah, let's go ahead, let's pull some cards and let's see what other messages want to unfurl here. And already, I mean, we have just like the beautiful card that popped out. We have the Ace of Pentacles immediately, right? What I'm seeing is like, this is rebirth energy. This is like what I'm getting. Oh, I'm really picking up in the back of the crown and the skull is like, oh, this breath of fresh air. It's this breath of fresh air. It's like, oh, I get to begin again. Like, you've been going through this, like these cycles or this season, like where maybe there have been these challenges or maybe there have been these obstacles, and you were kind of maybe wondering like, okay, like, are we gonna get through this? Like maybe even wondering like, is the universe supporting me in all of this? Oh my God, is the universe supporting me in all of this? We have the World card, which is really symbolic of like universal cycles and the beginning of new cycles, the emerging of new cycles. And even we have this owl here, right, on top, which actually this is a deck of, it's an owl tarot deck, but I mean, really owls are kind of like these like psychic gatekeepers. But I really, when I see the owl here, I just see this owl is like a gatekeeper of this cycle, and it's like guiding you into this new cycle. And it's, I guess what I see here is that, like, you know, like, also I see that Ace of Pentacles with the World. It is like this opportunity to just receive your whole entire universe differently. You are like in a place of huge upgrades, and like, I think celebrate that. That is absolutely worth celebrating. Do not, like, I think we can sometimes minimize like what we have gone through, but like, fucking celebrate it, please. Like, and thank you. Yeah. Like, what I'm hearing is like almost like there's been more of an opening within your own heart, and in that opening of your own heart, you're like, you're kind of, I don't want to say you're putting on rose-colored glasses, but it's kind of like you are kind of looking through different lenses, and you are kind of looking at life with this kind of romantic vibe. And this especially comes through with the next card, which is the Sun, right? This is the, you know, this is the card of Leo. This is the card of, oh, like, I get to just freaking be me. I get to vibrate. I get to radiate. I am the sun, and I get to spread my radiance wherever I go. Sunflowers may be significant, but also, like, even sitting out in the sun might be significant as well. Seeing, like, receiving light codes, but also remembering, like, for you, like, how like, where do you show up in the world? Where do you show up in the world, and how do you, just like the sun, activate other people? So let's see here. Whew, good messages. Let's pull a few more cards. We've got another ace. So we had first that Ace of Pentacles. Now we have the Ace of Cups. We have the Devil. And we have the Tower. Right? So putting this all together, like, you're going through this phase. You are, like, leveling up. You are in this space of expansion. And not only that, when we pair it with that Ace of Cups, you are just kind of, like, as I was saying about the heart center, you are moving into this new place of being, of, like, really honoring, like, your own heart, like, doing things that I truly feel devotional and nourishing and just yummy for you. And the thing is, anytime we, like, start doubling down on our commitment toward ourselves and start really, like, witnessing ourselves in new ways, you know, our ego will come up. You know, this is that Devil card. And when, you know, when our ego comes up and tells us, well, who are you to be doing this? We've never done this before. You know, like, or also maybe with some of this heart opening, maybe we're letting love in ways that we've never received it before, or we're letting ourselves be celebrated in ways we've never been celebrated before, or we're trusting in ways that we've never trusted before, right? The thing is, our ego will sometimes come in, and it might be loud and it might be sneaky. But what I'm really kind of getting here, like, pairing this with the Tower, like, that ego is coming up so that... What are you chewing on? Okay. Just making sure she was not chewing on anything too. She's just chewing on her bone. Here she is. I don't know if she wants to come into the camera. But coming back, right? So we have the Tower. This is the card of things falling apart. The foundations on which we maybe built our lives not being as stable as we thought. You even see, like, this lightning literally striking this bird nest here. So really, the message here that I'm getting is just kind of like, right, the old ways that you used to live your life, they might come up, they might surface, And really, there is just this question of like, how are you going to interface with this? Because we can kind of look at it, you know, like it's always a question of how do we deal with these feelings, right? We can push it down and pretend it's not there, or we can notice it and be like, oh wow, you know, I'm so grateful that this is showing up, right? Gratitude makes all the difference. But we can look at these things with gratitude and we can say, oh, I'm so grateful that this is moving out, that this does not have to be my way of operating in the future because I'm choosing new ways of being. And I'm trusting myself. I'm also allowing my energy to radiate now, right? So thank you, mind. Thank you, consciousness, for showing me how I've operated in the past. This is what we're choosing now. Delicious. Right? And this is the thing, right? I think as well, acknowledging that like whatever it is that's falling apart, or whatever it is that is surfacing and coming up to be seen, like it seems like some of it is grief, some of it is like sadness, it's sorrow, it's like, you know, almost like when we kind of get fixated on like what we didn't get or what we didn't receive, and it's like oh, like we might be feeling grief around that. And yes, it's important to honor that, but it's also just as important to realize where we can put our focus instead, because it's so interesting. We go from the 5 to the 6 of cups, and the 6 of cups is all about taking our cups and providing nurturance to the inner child. And, you know, this, you know, with the 6 of cups, it's also about like nostalgia. It's about just like this like childlike wonder and even comfort. So really, like, how do really the big message here is flip the lens, right? Where do we get stuck in the pain? Where do we get stuck in the sorrow? I mean, feel what you need to feel. Pause, like, you know, take that moment and feel where in your body it is, you know, without having to put a story there. But then the question becomes, where is this taking me next? How do I radiate more in my life? Right? These are, I think, the big things to take away. Is there anything else that we want to ask questions about? I'm getting to ask about creativity and relationships. And that feels exciting, actually, so we're gonna listen to that. Ooh, that feels delicious. So, okay, we have our first 2 cards, and we have another ace, our third ace, and we also have the Fool card, which is the 0 card. So interesting. So we have the Ace of Wands. It's really the card of spirit. It's the card of the beginning, in terms of like, it's like that green light to take action on something. It's like, let me see here. It is that green light to take action on something, but not only that, but to like it's like the words, let your joy move you. Let your joy move you into action, right? And not only that, like, you know, can you still let your joy move you into action even if it's something that you've never done before? We have the Fool here, even if it's something you've never done before. The Fool is this card of like being willing to go on a limb, being willing to go off the edge, being willing to go into the unknown, to go on a journey of discovery, right? So this, I mean, in terms of creativity, that might be, you know, starting that new project, or that might be, you know, that might be starting that new project or continuing that project that you have been working on. In terms of dating, that might mean like go on that date. It might mean like, you know, maybe ask that person out, even with the willingness to face so-called rejection, right? Because a rejection, you know, what we call rejection is just, it's a coming back to self, right? Because at the end of the day, only we can reject ourselves. Delicious. And we have the 2 of Cups. This is the card of love. This is the card of harmony, right? So two energies, oftentimes masculine and feminine, coming together, blending and harmonizing really in this element of water, of sharing emotional worlds and emotional care. This could be happening inside of you creatively, but what I really kind of get here in terms of creativity, it's like, oh, you're really wanting to bring through whatever it is that you're wanting to channel or create, right? Whether it be poetry or music or dance or knitting or whatever it is, it's like, but you want to bring, like, the word, yeah, attune to the frequency of beauty. Remember the beauty that you bring. And not only that, I mean, I guess if we're looking at that relational aspect, like, um, just pairing this with the Ace of Swords, this just popped out. Two of Cups, Ace of Swords, like, remember that, like, what you want in terms of a harmonious relationship is possible. Oh, and holy bananas, like, we just pulled all 4 aces. Like, that's pretty, like, that doesn't happen, that hardly ever happens. But point being, right, so Ace of Swords, this is the mental suit, and this is when we receive such mental clarity. But right, the Fool, Ace of Wands, the Fool, Two of Cups, like, we can begin again, we can go on the limb, we can go off the ledge and do something we haven't done before in terms of love. And we can also, like, establish this new vision for what is possible or what it is that we're truly desiring. Like, and we probably hear this all the time, like, being shared in, like, spiritual communities and videos, but, like, what would it really mean for you to live in the end state? In other words, like, to know that, like, this harmonious connection already exists. Like, it exists in the quantum, it exists in your heart. And can you feel that love already in your heart? Can you slow down enough to receive it? And this, right, to slow down enough to receive it, this is what it really means to up-level our own consciousness, right? We have the judgment card, which is really about spirit or the universe coming in and kind of shaking us awake to remind us that we are on a journey of consciousness, we are on a journey of awakening, and that our soul is receiving upgrades in this moment. And so, like, if you are a single person and if you are, looking for a relationship, right? Like, this is a big invitation for you to recognize that, like, one, you are the love that you seek. The love that you seek already exists, and you have this really fertile opportunity right now to just be in the space of receiving instead of, say, seeking or looking on the apps or looking everywhere you go, right? Because sometimes we can get so, like, fixated, but, like, how can we, like, just find a sense of contentment right here, right now, while realizing, like, we're opening up to the more, we're opening up to the deliciousness. And if you are in a relationship, let me tune into this. Well, we'll pull a card for people with relationships to just go and coincide with this. This is kind of what I was picking up on, but pull another card with this. Yeah, I guess, like, for people who are in a relationship, that what I kind of pick up on is that there might be some people who might be in a more of a sense of, like, I don't want to say confusion, but maybe there's been some overthinking, and there's maybe going to be some realizations about, like, the level of commitment in terms of the relationship. And how much work is being put in, it seems like, in particular by the masculine. How much work is being put in by the masculine. And that Nine of Swords, this is, like, kind of like, this is that tendency to overthink. As far as, like, an awakening goes, like, It's almost kind of like you're being invited to put down this tendency of overthinking, and instead you're being asked to like, right, put down your sword. Well, to put down your sword, but to actually like take matters into your own hands. We have the King of Wands, and to address things as you need to address them, right? To be honest, to be authentic, and to recognize the only person who can take your own power is yourself. And we do that oftentimes through our own overthinking. Any last messages? Ooh. About creativity, love, relationship. So we have the High Priestess, which came out. And with that High Priestess, cool. I mean, High Priestess, I have the Nine of Pentacles, I have the Eight of Pentacles. This is a great, great, great reading. That High Priestess, I mean, this is really, right, coming back to that Nine of Swords, is very outward energy. Like, it's very external energy. It's like, and it's story making, it's like keeping us up at night, it's creating a sense of anxiety. We're being asked to put that down, right? And, you know, again, we can only put these things down by, one, calling back our power, recognizing that our power exists here in the now, and that if we need to take action on something, if we need to address something, if we need to speak something, we go and we speak it. And we, you know, and that involves tapping into our inner source of courage. And we can always call upon our guides, we can always call upon our angels to help us in bringing these aspects of courage to the forefront. The High Priestess really speaks to working with those unseen realms, with those angels, with those guides. It really speaks to that aspect of like listening more deeply inside of us to see intuitively what is it that needs to be shared, what is it that needs to be spoken, what is it that's on my heart, what is it that the divine wants to communicate with me, as me. And right, it's when you listen to yourself that like life wants to reward you. Look at all these pentacles, my God. And like, you know, we have the Nine of Pentacles, which is really about like resting in like abundance and in luxury. And like, look at all these ripe, looks like ripe peaches. Yeah, they're like these ripe peaches, and this owl is just really you know, is looking at them all, looking at all the coins, and it's just this delightful, calm, peaceful experience, right? So this is like that card of resting in abundance. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles, which is like, this is just like the celebration of like the hard work that you've done, right? Like, keep, you know, continue being open to your own realizations around love and your own creativity. Keep devoting your time to your creativity, and also celebrate the heck out of what you are doing to continue the path of either working toward that relationship, embodying that energy, or continuing to build that relationship with your now existing partner. Super delicious. So yeah, and I've got the Queen of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Like pentacles, so many pentacles. We had all the wands, the ace of wands, like all the aces, and we literally had like, gosh, so many pentacles. Anyway, beautiful reading. I would love to know how this reading sat for you, what resonated. If there was anything that didn't resonate, of course you leave it, don't have to take it. But in any case, if you would like to learn more about what I do, please feel free to sign up for my email list at www.vulnerableheartmeditation.com. Not to mention, I have an online group program starting up beginning of January. It is called Phoenix Rising. It's going to be a beautiful experiential program for my creatives, for my creative entrepreneurs, for people who may be in the field of caregiving, or people who just simply want to open up a little bit more to where their soul might be taking them to, right? So if you want to take that leap, if you want to learn more, you can also go to the upcoming events section at my website as well. And yeah, like I said, it starts January 7th, so it's every week for Tuesdays at 6 p.m. PST. Anyway, I hope you take care. Have a beautiful December, and we'll see the next time I come on here. I might come on here a little bit more often. Bye-bye.